What's going on everybody, Chris here from Arm and Leather. Today with my first episode in a new series I'm creating called How to Get Started in Leathercraft. Let's do it. Okay, episode 1, 4 tools to spend money on. Now it's so easy when you're first starting out in Leathercraft to get lost in all the options out there. What does this tool do? Why is that knife maybe better than that knife, for example? Hopefully in today's video we'll have a little bit more guidance and a little bit more understanding of why you might make one purchase over another. Okay, one of the first things that I would advise that you don't do is go and buy one of these value packs of tools on Amazon. Your money can be better served buying other, maybe a little more pricey tools, but you definitely don't need half of what's in that tool set. So 4 tools today, here we go. Tool number 1. So let's get into it. Tool number 1 is going to be a good knife. Okay, now I have lots of knives. I've got lots of knives behind me. All of them do slightly different jobs, but I would strongly recommend that if you're going to get one knife and if you're going to put money into one knife, you would get a good pen knife. They can also be called X-Acto knives. But for me, these are great knives because they're really good all-rounders. You can do really intricate detailed work as well as doing really good straight cuts. And also, if you get a single beveled option, that's when the blade is only sharpened on one side. They can also be used as skiving knives as well. So there you go guys, tool number 1 to spend money on is a good knife. Okay guys, tool number 2. It's going to be a mallet. That was dumb. Okay guys, tool number 2 is going to be a good mallet. Now you're going to want a good mallet with a good amount of weight behind it. Now I use Palo Santo for a lot of my tools. They made my mallet. And the reason I like them is because there's a good amount of weight there. It's 800 grams, so you're not, really swinging your arms, pounding away, trying to get any force down. There's a lot, this hammer does most of the work. It's really good. It's also got a nylon head, and the reason that's good is because a lot of our tools that we use have softer metals, and if you have a metal on a metal, you're going to mushroom out or sometimes even just plain damage the tool you're using. So tool number 2, a good mallet. Okay guys, tool number 3 is going to be a good edge beveler. Now I have 2 edge bevelers actually. They both do slightly different things. This one takes off a little bit more of the leather and this one just takes off a little bit less. Both of my edge bevelers were made by Palo Santo tools as well, and I really like these ones because they're very well made, but also they're very sharp. Now when I was first starting out in Leathercraft, the edge bevelers I used were potentially not as good quality, and when you're skiving along the edge, they'll slip and they'll jerk right across your project and it will just ruin hours and hours of work. So a good edge beveler. That's tool number 3. Last tool to spend your money on is a good set of stitching punches or stitching iron. I got both of these from Cinnabrox. Now the stitching irons, what they do is a blade and they're slightly slanted, they're angled blades. What that's going to do is give you an angled stitch, and these are called French style pricking irons. Now stitching punch, I'm going to do a completely separate video on the difference between these two and why you would choose one over the other. I use and love both of them. Now the stitching punch is actually just going to create little holes. It's actually going to take leather away, and that's going to give you more of a straight looking stitch. The reason you want to spend money on a good set of pricking irons or stitching punches is because, as many of you know watching this video, if you get a really cheap set, stitching punches made with cheaper quality materials, cheaper steel, sometimes when you hit down they just break. They're definitely not always straight. Sometimes the teeth themselves can bend, which quite often leads to a wonky stitch. By simply having a straight stitch, you can elevate your project to looking really professional. Okay guys, so there you have it. 4 tools to spend some money on initially when you're building your tool set. If you want to check out a good place to buy budget friendly but actually very, very high quality tools, check out Tandy Leather. Now, I'd follow that up with Tandy, and anybody else mentioned in the video or the comments below did not pay me or ask me to say any of this at all. Everything I've said is just based on my own judgment and the thoughts I have on the tools that I use. With that in mind, don't forget to hit that like, comment and subscribe. It really helps us out and allows us to continue to create content for all you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. See you next week.